You're so incompetent. Which do you prefer, getting fired or getting demoted?
I work in the administrative department and am constantly being bossed around by Amy Miller, the department head. One day, a new employee, Kyle Green, made a mistake, and I had to cover for him. However, as a result of defending him, I ended up getting fired.
Oh, look who's back, the useless one.
After getting fired, I joined our rival company, Sparkle Design. I worked hard, and the next year, we ended up acquiring my former company, leading to a reunion with Amy. As soon as we reunited, she mistakenly thought I had returned to the company and made a condescending remark. But right after that, our fierce-looking chairman, Mike Wilson, appeared. My name is John Taylor, and I'm 50 years old. I work at a design company in New York. I was drawn to the packaging products handled by this company and joined when I was 30. I had hoped to join the coveted design planning department, but I was assigned to the less glamorous administrative department. Despite repeatedly applying for a transfer, I was rejected, and here I am today. Unable to give up, I continued to work diligently until my superiors recognized my abilities. But then a significant obstacle appeared in my path.
John, how long does it take to change the copier ink?
I'm sorry, Amy.
Even a kid could handle such a simple task. Maybe you should go back to elementary school?
If that's the case, why don't you do it? Without voicing my complaint of, then you do it. I quietly replaced the empty ink cartridge.
You're so slow. Next, clean the restroom. Hurry up, you piece of trash.
Yes, ma'am. The woman who kept giving orders one after another was Amy Miller. She was the head of the design planning department, overseeing all the designers at the company. She's 53 years old, always demands speedy responses, and her surroundings are always hectic because of it. She's very strict with employees who work slowly and frequently hurls insults, especially towards me in the administrative department, ordering me around daily. Though her insults angered me, I held out hope that if I could get on her good side, I might be able to join the department I admired. With this faint hope, I endured her tyrannical behavior. Amy, I finished cleaning the restroom, so I'll be leaving now. When I reported that I had completed the assigned cleaning, she was at her desk, polishing her nails.
The administrative department has it easy, doesn't it? You get paid for doing tasks even a kid could do.
Haha. I awkwardly laughed in response to her sarcastic comments. She took pride in being the head of the prestigious department and tended to look down on other departments. As a result, she wasn't well liked by some of the employees, including myself. The administrative department may not directly contribute to the company's profits, but it plays an essential role in improving the workplace environment. Whenever I completed a task, other employees would often thank me for my meticulous work. Feeling pleased to be of help, I inadvertently angered Amy.
The administrative staff shouldn't get too full of themselves. You should be saying, "Thank you for employing an incompetent person like me."
I'm sorry. Whenever I received even a slight compliment, Amy would become displeased and hurl insults.
Don't slack off with the menial tasks.
Apologizing immediately to avoid involving other employees had become routine for me. One day, a new 25-year-old employee joined the administrative department. His name was Kyle Green. I was assigned as his mentor, showing him around and teaching him about office supplies and job responsibilities. If there's any trouble, report it immediately. I'll handle it.
Understood. I'm looking forward to working with you.
His energetic response made me smile. I was happy to have a young colleague again, but Kyle soon made a mistake. He came to me looking frantic, explaining that he had accidentally shredded important documents meant for a planning meeting.
I'm so sorry. I found them in the used files and assumed.
Mistakes happen to everyone. I'll apologize to Amy for you. I encouraged him and went to explain the situation to Amy.
Can't you even train new employees properly?
I braced myself for her scolding, but instead, Amy smirked.
You're so incompetent. Which do you prefer, getting fired or getting demoted?
She wanted to hold me responsible, giving me two options. Watching my sincere apology, she leaned back in her chair, amused. Her condescending attitude annoyed me. I'll leave it to your judgment, Amy.
Is that so? Then I'll report your worst performance to HR.
If I got fired, Kyle wouldn't face any repercussions. My dream of joining the design planning department ended here, but I couldn't crush the spirit of a young talent. Despite Kyle's repeated attempts to stop me, I left the company, telling him to keep working hard for both of us. A month later, after getting fired, I joined the rival company, Sparkle Design. The following year, Sparkle Design acquired my previous company due to their financial troubles. With the merger, the previous company's president and executives were dissolved. Most of the remaining employees ended up joining Sparkle Design. Among the employees was Amy, and when we reunited, she patted me on the shoulder.
Oh, look who's back, the useless one.
I hadn't told her where I had transferred to, so when she saw me, she mistakenly thought I had returned to the old company. Just as she started to confront me, an elderly man grabbed her arm and glared at her fiercely.
Hey, don't touch me, you perverted old man.
Hearing her insult, I couldn't help but hold my head in my hands. What are you saying to the chairman?
Huh?
He was Mike Wilson, the former president and honorary chairman of Sparkle Design.
This old man is the chairman?
You can't just insult people. Apologize right now. Despite my efforts, Amy didn't understand the situation and continued to make inappropriate remarks.
Listen, old man, let go of my hand. It's hurting. If you touch me anymore, I'll call the police.
My apologies.
The chairman released her, but continued to glare at her.
You may not know me since the merger just happened, but it's common sense to know the rival company's leader, don't you think?
At that moment, the current president, Tom, appeared from the elevator, shouting and running towards us.
Mike.
So, it's really...
Seeing the president, Amy started trembling and looked at the chairman in fear.
Finally understand, Amy.
Eek.
Realizing he knew her name, she began to tremble. Having made such grave mistakes with the chairman, she was now under scrutiny. Amy is done for. I secretly smirked to myself.
My deepest apologies. I had no idea you were the chairman, Mike. How incredibly rude of me.
She immediately apologized profusely. She had just called the top executive of the company an old man. Forgiveness wouldn't come easily.
I've heard you were once the head of the design planning department, Amy.
Yes, I was also the coordinator for the designers.
While she fidgeted nervously, the chairman continued to speak calmly.
And after the merger, you were demoted from department head based on your performance evaluation. Is that correct?
With the merger into Sparkle Design, the HR department conducted a review of evaluations. Amy was no exception and had her abilities as a manager scrutinized. She grimaced and glanced at me, clearly not wanting me to hear this. She seemed unwilling to answer. not wanting me to hear. The chairman pressed her for a clear answer.
Answer me directly.
I was deemed incompetent and demoted from department head to team leader.
Amy had been judged unfit for her previous role and was demoted to a team leader position. Furthermore, she was reassigned from the design department to the sales department, which she greatly resented. I learned this for the first time and smirked. So, that makes you a former department head.
Shut up. I don't need to be mocked by you.
Her face turned red with embarrassment as she shouted. But then the chairman scolded her again.
Don't you dare speak to your superior like that.
Wait, superior? You mean John?
Amy looked between me and the chairman, her mouth agape. I told her my current position. I am the chief officer of the product design planning department and an executive director.
Huh?
Hearing my title, Amy looked confused. I'm now in a slightly higher position than a department head, both leading the design department and involved in management. The chairman and the president both nodded in agreement.
John is in a crucial role for our company. He's a very capable man.
My work had earned the chairman's approval, and I was fully trusted by both him and the president. Hearing about my competence, Amy started laughing.
John competent? You must be joking. He was useless even in the admin department.
But the chairman didn't believe her at all.
John successfully handled a major project soon after joining us and greatly improved our operational efficiency.
What?
Having handled various administrative tasks as part of the support staff, I developed strong administrative skills and multitasking abilities. This allowed me to become an immediate asset to the team, earning praise as a competent addition right from the start. Additionally, the admin role had honed my communication skills, allowing me to adapt quickly to the new workplace. Sparkle Design valued employee development and immediately allowed my transfer to the design department when I expressed my interest. Compared to my previous job, this company respected employee aspirations and provided a more open environment, making it a very comfortable place to work. I was annoyed when Amy asked if I preferred getting fired or demoted, but in the end, it led me to my dream job, so I consider myself lucky. Deliberately displaying my happiness, I saw Amy clench her teeth in frustration. With the merger, the dynamics between Amy and me drastically shifted. Who could have predicted that the person who had always called me incompetent would one day find themselves working under me?
Here I am, demoted after the company was absorbed.
She glared at me resentfully. By the way, you haven't apologized yet, have you? For the insults and the disrespect. Amy, under the piercing gaze of the chairman and myself, broke into a cold sweat and stepped back. After all the things she had said to me, it was only fair to return the favor.
I distinctly heard you call him useless, Amy, while patting him on the shoulder.
With the chairman, the most powerful witness, present, I couldn't make any excuses.
I didn't mean it seriously. It was just a figure of speech.
Nevertheless, she tried to make excuses to evade responsibility.
I was just so happy to see you again that I potted you on the shoulder too hard.
Despite her defiant attitude, the pressure from us forced her to reluctantly apologize.
I'm deeply sorry for my disrespectful behavior.
Upon closer inspection, I noticed a vein pulsing at her temple as she trembled. She apologized, but it was clear she wasn't genuinely remorseful. That's enough. Just work hard to regain our trust from now on. A significant amount of time had passed since I arrived at the office. To avoid keeping the chairman and president any longer, I decided to conclude the meeting for now. Thank you for your time, Mike. I thanked Mike sincerely.
John, You are a valuable employee to us. If you ever need help, don't hesitate to ask.
The chairman said with a smile as he prepared to leave with the president. Before leaving, he turned back and glared at Amy.
I've memorized your face and name. If you ever harm the company again, you'll be out immediately.
Yes.
Amy trembled like a frog under the gaze of a snake. Once the chairman and president were out of sight, she quickly ran away. Hugh. Hopefully, she'll reflect on her actions and become a decent employee. Once I was alone, I quickly headed to the design department floor. Despite this tense reunion with an old adversary, I was finally working in my dream job. I decided to focus on my work and not dwell on the past. However, just as I thought that, an issue arose within the company, and I unwillingly got involved. 2 weeks after the merger, things started to change around me.
John, are you tired? Would you like some coffee?
As I worked at my desk, Amy suddenly appeared with a cup of coffee. I never expected to receive coffee from my former boss, so I couldn't help but be suspicious. Suspicious? What are you planning? I looked at her skeptically, but she maintained her smile and charm.
Oh, nothing like that. I've decided to reflect on my actions and dedicate myself to the company.
I see. The former Amy used to look down on incompetent employees and was overly proud of her own work. But now, she seemed to have transformed into a kind woman who cared about me. Although she claimed to have changed, I couldn't shake my doubts. She had mistreated me for so long, and now she was bringing me coffee like a completely different person. You can go back to your own work now.
Of course. Excuse me.
With a sugary tone, she left with a light step. After that, she continued to hover around me, eagerly taking on various menial tasks herself.
I can handle copying these documents. I'll staple them for you too, John.
Her cheerful willingness felt eerie, but I started to wonder if she truly had changed. Observing her secretly, I saw her interacting well with other employees without any conflicts. I initially thought she was just trying to curry favor for a promotion, but it seemed I had been overly cautious. If I could forgive her, we might be able to build a good working relationship. I considered having a conversation with Amy to suggest a truce. The next day, a sales department employee rushed to report to me. Why are you in such a hurry? A customer complaint? Last week, we had a major project with a large advertising company. Despite the collaboration between the design and sales departments, it was discovered that the delivered materials were incorrect. The client complained, requesting that the designs be redone according to their specifications. This resulted in a significant delay in delivery, angering the client. Have you investigated the cause of the mistake? I was shocked by the employee's response. Amy was also involved in the major projects. When the client communicated the design changes, she handled the correspondence. However, she forgot to share the information with the other employees, leading to the current situation. In short, the complaint was caused by her lack of communication. Hearing her name gave me a headache. I'll handle the apology to the client. Where's Amy now? I needed to confirm if her oversight was intentional or accidental. The employee, avoiding eye contact, told me that she had left early due to feeling unwell. She left early? In an emergency like this? In the midst of the emergency, Amy had the audacity to leave early. Before the employee came to me, Amy had already left the office. As I stood there in disbelief, the client called, and I repeatedly apologized. Surprisingly, the client was not angry and even expressed a desire to continue working with us. What's going on? I thought the client would be furious, as the employee and I looked at each other in confusion. Another person approached us. It turned out that this individual had effectively handled the situation, receiving positive feedback from the client. Relieved by the swift resolution, I recognized the person and exclaimed, "Oh!" Though the issue with the client was resolved, the matter with Amy was not over. Her negligence caused the problem, and then she ran away. I was furious. Amy won't get away with this. I headed to her house and rang the doorbell. Inside, I heard her voice.
Yes. Who is it?
"It's John." Realizing it was me, she hesitantly opened the door. "How are you feeling?" When I looked at her with concern, she gave a conspicuous cough. Dressed in pajamas and wearing a mask, she looked every bit the part of a sick person.
I'm sorry. I developed a fever from exhaustion.
"Is that so?" The project was completed successfully. The client gave us high marks, and everything is settled. She sighed in genuine relief upon hearing my report.
Thank goodness. I'm truly sorry. I'll make sure to apologize to everyone once I recover.
"Thank you for your hard work too, Amy." She responded happily to my kind words.
I'll do my best to be of help again once I'm better.
She made a triumphant pose, and I smiled. "Oh, there's no need for that. You're fired."
What?
Amy stared at me in shock. "I'm here to report that everything is resolved and to give you this." I took out a document from my bag and handed it to her. It was a notice of termination, signed by the president.
Why am I being fired?
As she trembled, I told her the truth. "After you left, Kyle handled the situation."
Kyle?
The person who handled the project's trouble was Kyle, my former subordinate. After the merger, he was assigned to the sales department and grew into a competent employee. Utilizing the interpersonal and computer skills he had learned in the admin department, he successfully negotiated with the client. He quickly revised the design with the help of other employees and successfully delivered the final product. Thanks to Kyle's client interactions, the quality of the delivery improved, satisfying the client. He not only resolved the issue, but also became a hero in the client's eyes. I was pleased to see him again. Amy looked stunned and speechless. "How does it feel to have your mess cleaned up by a former subordinate?" I asked harshly, and she grimaced.
I'll thank Kyle tomorrow. But more importantly, can you tell me why I'm being fired?
"The client contacted us, didn't they? If you had properly communicated with the team, the delivery wouldn't have been delayed."
I just forgot.
She averted her eyes and coughed again.
After taking the call, I did take notes, but I lost them. I thought it wouldn't be helpful to share vague details, so I was waiting for the client to call back.
I sternly reprimanded her for this poor judgment. "You should have followed up. You have more experience than I do. So what were you thinking?"
Please don't yell. The neighbors might hear.
She looked around anxiously after being yelled at. Seeing her lack of remorse, my anger flared. Of course, I reported this to Tom and Mike. They were very disappointed in you.
What?
Mentioning the chairman's name made her turn pale. Apparently, she disliked the chairman because she had given him a terrible impression when we met again. I was instructed to deliver your termination notice. As of today, you're fired.
No way.
Abandoned by even the higher ubis, Amy collapsed in despair. She must have finally realized the gravity of her actions. So I decided to leave her there. However, She called out to me as I turned to leave.
Wait,
What is it?
you can't fire me for such a small mistake. I'll sue the company for wrongful termination.
She grabbed my arm, refusing to let me go.
If the president gets sued, it will tarnish the company's reputation, don't you think?
What do you want? Amy smirked wickedly.
As compensation for wrongful termination, I want $50,000.
The high demand shocked me.
And also, as an apology, I want to swap positions with you.
What? I haven't done anything wrong. Not only was she asking for compensation, but she also wanted my job. Her audacity disgusted me. I was about to reject her outrageous demands when she cut me off.
You humiliated me in front of Mike. After all the help I've given you, this is how you repay me.
Help. All I remember is you bossing me around. At my previous company, I contributed to improving operational efficiency as part of the administrative department. However, Amy saw me as a convenient slave, pushing various menial tasks onto me. Cleaning the toilets, daily office cleaning, preparing materials, and unpaid overtime were just a few examples. In extreme cases, she even asked me to give her a morning call before coming to work. I couldn't forgive her for shifting the blame onto me while ignoring her own actions. To make her understand that bad deeds come back to bite you, I decided to be firm. All right, I guess I need to properly explain the reasons for your wrongful termination.
If you have a legitimate reason, go ahead and say it.
Amy responded defiantly and confronted me with a strong attitude. Until now, I had kept my voice calm, but it was time to drop any kindness. You claimed to have left early due to feeling unwell, but that was a lie, wasn't it? When confronted, she seemed startled, her eyes widening as she stared at me. However, she quickly looked away, trying to maintain her composure.
It's true. I was exhausted from the chaos of the merger.
You still had energy to go out and have fun, though? Suddenly, sweat poured down her forehead, and her body stiffened. With a trembling voice, she managed to speak.
What are you talking about?
You should be careful about what you post on social media. You never know who's watching. I pulled out my phone, opened a specific social media account, and showed it to her. This account belongs to you, doesn't it? The profile name was Amy, and the photos featured a woman who looked exactly like her. It was undoubtedly her account. Although she trembled, she remained stubborn.
I don't know. It's just someone who looks like me.
But look at this post from the inn. The date matches our company trip, and there are group photos of the employees. I found a familiar group photo from past posts and confronted her about it, causing Amy to turn pale. In fact, Kyle was the one who had shown me the account. Many employees at the company use social media, and they had stumbled upon it by chance. Amy had been using social media for years, sharing photos of office lunches and night views likely taken from the company. It's problematic to capture and expose internal company scenes to the outside. Since there were photos of the company in her, she had no choice but to admit it was her account. I expected her to apologize, but she got defensive instead.
I've been careful with personal information. I always blur other people's faces.
That's true, but that's not the point.
Huh?
I showed her the latest post. This photo was posted today, wasn't it? This proves you lied about being sick.
Oh,
The post from today included a comment along with a picture of Amy at a pub.
taking a day off work to drink beer is the best. Afternoon is for a relaxing day trip.
She had gone to a pub right after leaving work while her colleagues were dealing with the trouble. This irresponsible behavior is nothing short of dereliction of duty.
This is,
Even she couldn't find an excuse, groaning in distress. What do you have to say about drinking beer while Kyle and others were cleaning up your mess?
I felt guilty. That's why I planned to apologize to everyone later.
This woman clearly hadn't reflected on her actions. After all, I've never heard Amy say thank you. Those who knew her from before the merger would immediately recognize any apology as insincere. You don't need to come to the company anymore since you're fired, so it's too late to apologize.
Please reconsider the termination. You'll be in trouble without me.
Her words made me freeze. What?
Huh?
Amy looked at me confused. Do you really think you're indispensable to the company?
I may have been demoted to team leader, but I'm a competent woman.
Her arrogance made me laugh. Wow, former department head Amy, you sure are delusional. Feeling mocked, she turned red and yelled.
You were my subordinate, so don't get cocky just because you got promoted.
The one getting cocky is you. It's quite bold to defy an executive like me. I puffed out my chest, showing off our hierarchical difference, and she bit her lip in frustration. The most effective way to silence someone arrogant is to show them you're in a higher position. Those who are drunk on power cannot defy it. Amy, who was demoted to team leader after catching the chairman's attention, should understand this better than anyone. Resigned, she hung her head and muttered an apology.
I'm sorry.
So you finally admit your mistakes? She nodded slowly.
Yes, after being demoted, I might have become a bit reckless.
She admitted to forgetting to share the client's contact, but she left early during the crisis just to trouble the staff.
I panicked when the call came during lunch. There was no one around, and I thought it was rude of the client to call at that time.
I initially thought she was being humble, but her attempt to blame the client made me furious. Insulting the client is unacceptable.
I'm sorry. I'll apologize directly to the client. Please forgive me.
She apologized and begged me to revoke her termination, but I didn't have that power. I've already handled the apology, so your role is unnecessary. Besides, no one at the company will support you anymore.
Huh?
I delivered the harsh truth. Most employees use social media, and everyone knows about your account, including Tom and Mike. In other words, her slacking off and lying about her illness were exposed to all the employees. She turned pale, realizing her deceit and laziness were exposed. Everyone was outraged by your laziness. If you returned, you'd be bombarded with hostility. The chairman even called you a disgrace to the company.
A disgrace.
With her social media account exposed to everyone in the company, Amy's credibility plummeted. Even if her termination were revoked and she returned, she would forever be ostracized by her colleagues, hated by both her superiors and subordinates, and even the president. She would have no chance of advancing in her career. Overwhelmed, she began to cry.
What am I supposed to do now? I can't survive being fired.
You'll have to find another job and work diligently. There are plenty of opportunities for someone in their 40s. However, if asked about the reason for her termination during interviews, she would struggle to provide an answer. If it came to light that she had caused various issues, finding a new job would be difficult. Well, I'm leaving now. With my task completed, I turned to leave, intending to report back to the president. But Amy clung to my legs, crying.
Please, Convince everyone to forgive me. Tell them I've reflected on my actions.
Of course not. I dislike you too. I shook her off my leg roughly. Realizing her future was uncertain, she tried to curry favor with me.
I'll be your subordinate forever. Just please let me stay at the company.
The company doesn't employ incompetent people. You of all people should understand that. With that, I left without looking back. Back at the office, I reported to the president and the chairman. Amy seems remorseful. Are you sure we should fire her?
Her insults to her superiors, lack of cooperation, and abandonment of duty leave no other option but termination.
The chairman condemned her actions, showing no intention of forgiving her. Amy called repeatedly, begging for forgiveness. If you keep this up, I'll report it as harassment to the police. When I told her that, she backed down easily. Her belongings were sent to her home card, and her contact details were deleted. This erased any trace of her from the company. After being fired, she started going to the employment office to look for a job. However, given that her termination was her own fault, she faced continuous rejections. Growing desperate as her savings dwindled and her future became uncertain, she started working as an influencer. She reviewed and promoted restaurants, but ended up in a major controversy with a restaurant owner, leading to a massive backlash. As a result, her identity and address were exposed, leading to daily harassment. Living in fear of being chased by strangers, she would now have to live a life filled with anxiety. She would have to pay for all the time she insulted me and my subordinates. Meanwhile, the company, without Amy, was peaceful. Without any troubles, we successfully collaborated on major projects, earning praise from our clients. Kyle, who had grown significantly since his rookie days, recently won an award in an internal competition. His achievements led to a promotion to manager, making his future even more promising. For me, I find joy in contributing to the design work while being part of the company's management as an executive. I am committed to working hard to become a good leader for my employees.